Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the second episode of the Mind Muscle Connection podcast. I'm your host, Topcoachdino, and today we're talking to Mathew Park. We're talking about peak mindset, we're talking about performance, we're talking about being a successful businessman or woman in the fitness industry today. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, share with your friends, subscribe on iTunes, and rate us 5 stars when you get a chance. We appreciate it. Let's get right into it. All right, welcome.
I'm glad to be here, Dino. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. So today we have with us Mathew Park. He's a performance coach. He's known as the mindset guy, and I think he's probably known as the performance coach. He's, the head, the top guy, the big shot in the Canadian fitness industry right now. He's a business coach. You're a professional natural bodybuilder as well, a WNBF pro, probably one of the first pros I ever heard of coming up. At age 21, you actually founded the INBF Canada. Is that correct? Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. So, and then you co-founded RE07 Sports Drink with your uncle. That was kind of your next business endeavor. So, lots of big things, even for, a really young guy in business. So you worked with a lot of like leading business guys, a lot of top athletes in Canada. You've built your successful PT business. You had a podcast. I was a guest on one of your podcasts, so that was exciting. You're, like I said, you're a leader in the industry, and now you've partnered with Super League Canada. You're going to tell us a little bit about that in a second, but Super League, I hear, is supposed to be, like the future of bodybuilding and powerlifting, like synergizing them together, bringing them together, and that's supposed to be like the new, the big sport happening in Canada. So I'm excited to hear about that. But maybe just if that introduction wasn't enough, kind of give us a little bit about how you would introduce yourself.
I keep it simple, man. I'm from a farm. I'm from a small town farm in Alberta, and I keep it nice and simple with that. I'm not a guy who came from the city. I worked hard. I grinded. I put my mind in that aspect of keeping focus on fundamentals.
Yeah.
I've more failures and mistakes. I've actually had successes in my life, which actually has kind of framed me into who I am today, into who I am as a person at 33 years of age, with now a beautiful daughter, with my wife. And I just work on really helping people, really impacting their business, their psychology and their mindset. I really hone in on just that only and focusing on building that with their sales. Marketing, yeah, more sales, influence, building relationships, right. Growing their business from the inside out.
Awesome. So did you kind of always know that you would be a good leader? Like, was that kind of something you found pretty early, that leading people, showing people the way, that was kind of something you kind of knew how to do?
No, I had no idea in the beginning. It was kind of like learning as I grew in the process, because I was kind of not forced, but I put myself into a leadership role with INBF,
right?
7, and it was very, very tough in the beginning because I didn't know how to lead a business at all.
So with you jumped into INBF Canada, you took that on. You're the president. You're the founder of that. Did you always know you wanted to be an entrepreneur, like your own boss?
Yeah. 18 years of age, I worked for a construction company on my farm, and I told myself when I was 18, moving to LA and I was 18, I would never work for anybody else in my life, no matter how hard it would get, and to this day, I haven't done that.
Awesome. Well, congrats, because you're one of the few, and we know that entrepreneurship, especially in Canada, is probably the future, the way the businesses are going, especially with how big, the fitness industry is, and how it's shaping even like the medical field and the health industry. So there's gonna be a lot more entrepreneurs that are gonna need advice from guys like you, right? So no, that's awesome. So I guess why, if you chose to be an entrepreneur, why was it fitness and health?
That was my passion. At 12 years old, I began lifting weights in the farm. My uncle actually created most of the machines in our gym from combine and tractor parts. So
wow.
All these dumbbells, like it was from the cultivator, part of the cultivator, part of the combine engine. We lifted a lot of these weights from, on a farm because we had no gym. Closest gym was an hour and a half away in Medicine Hat, Alberta.
Oh, wow.
So we had nothing with access of any sort of gym. So my uncle kind of created this 400 square foot shed, and then we built machines in there.
Dumbbells. Your voice is coming in and out.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, just muffled.
So we built
perfect.
We built those machines. He built those machines, and then I trained there when I was 12 years old to 18 when I moved away. I was getting up in the morning at 4 a.m. to train at 5 because I worked 12-hour days, in construction. So, and plus I would do crazy things in the farm. Like I would pull railroad ties around to like get my cardio in, and blue bales to get my cardio in on the back because we had cattle, when we had a cattle. And just do fun stuff like that. Like we had train tracks beside our house. I would run for miles on these empty train tracks to get my cardiovascular in. And that was me early on, man.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. What was the step that got you from performance and health? How did you make that leap to mindset? Like knowing that you needed to control what was up here in order to control the rest?
Because for me, I knew that early on I didn't have like I don't really believe in genetics. I believe you have to obviously work to do get what you want in your life. But early on, I couldn't do a dip or a push up. At 14 years of age, I was so weak, and I realized that I was also bullied when I was younger. So I realized that okay, I want to create my own life. I want to have what I want. And when I did bodybuilding, when I started bodybuilding weights, that gave me confidence. That gave me an outlet to be who I wanted to be. Right? I knew lifting weights was only the first step, and then I was reading book after book after book when I was 14 years, 15 years old, just absorbing myself in this knowledge of the mental game. And that intrigued me more than bodybuilding. And I
Awesome.
realized that's what got me to the success. Like that's why I began IMD. That's why I moved to LA when I was 18. This is why I worked with, the people I did when I was early on. I just knew that it wasn't, obviously there was factors like personality, being positive, staying focused, being disciplined. But more importantly, it's really just aligning your thinking and your thoughts and then taking those actual steps afterwards to get where you want to go.
Perfect. Awesome. So why natural then?
Why natural?
Yeah.
Because when I was younger, I really wanted to be different. And it's like I saw people around me when I was younger as a teenager that I had two friends that had heart problems from taking steroids.
Oh, wow.
And my uncle Mike drilled in my head. He's like, Matt, stay natural. He almost educated me on the importance at like 13 years old. So I just thought, I didn't have big chest or arms. In fact, I was skinny as a freaking rail, by the way. So I was like, I was just going to take the longer route, be patient, and have that reward. Like now I'm 33, I feel amazing. I don't
Yeah.
have, I'm not sure to get organized right now, like a bodybuilding competition show right now, but I've got my health and I have my strength. My strength is more than it ever has been in my life, and I feel natural. It's almost like a testament to your integrity.
Right. Yeah.
I never condone people who take. I think it's if that's their choice, that's their choice. At the end of the day, I feel with my values, I want to stay legit to who I am as a person, and just keep that intact. So when I'm 70 years old, I
Yeah.
can feel great with my kids.
Perfect. Awesome. You surround yourself with people like you. I know you surround yourself with big names like Big Mike O'Hearn, stuff like that. How important is being around successful people for your success?
There was a saying I once said, that surround yourself around like-minded people, which actually is a bit misguided. Okay, that's only partly true because if you do that, you're not going to grow very much. It's being around people who are better than you.
Yeah.
Make you feel uncomfortable. And obviously aligned to where you want to go. So that's why I surround myself around people who are more successful in business, better in training, know more mindset than me. This is why I go get mentored by, Tony Robbins' son, or, Mike O'Hearn, or even with talk with Iris Kyle, 10-time Olympia.
Yeah.
She thinks, and she's so focused, like she's so mentally driven. And business icons, like learning from them.
Yeah.
It's kind of like putting your ego aside, Dino, and just being in a place of being a sponge, to wanting to learn, to become better. And I feel when the ego is put to the side and you check your ego at the door and you just want to come to learn, and not try to be the smartest person in the room all the time. And that's typically what we probably want to feed our ego. I feel that's allowed me to succeed more effectively. Is just help people learn more effectively, be around great people who are successful, and also like-minded too. That's also a part of it as well. But your environment shapes your success.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
You're around shapes where you're going to go.
Awesome. Awesome. We know what kind of being a mindset coach is. What is this idea of being a performance coach? You're the guy, you're the performance coach. So what do people get when they come and see you? Like, what are you offering them?
I step their game to a whole new level. The biggest thing that I love, because one of my gifts with people is when I get with people, I work with people, I get so committed to understanding how they think where their sales performance is at, how they view themselves on their old and new version of themselves, where their old stories and behaviors are at, how they're performing right now with their current habitual, patterns of behaviors, where the discipline's at, how are they growing their business. And the performance is like a realm, but it's all around psychology at the core. And then obviously from the psychology as the core, the outer results will follow. Better results, in your business, more revenue in the game, better team building, better relationships, higher influence, more happiness, being more grateful, being kick-ass in life, being better in the family and the household. So really performance encompasses everything from the inside. That's how I kind of drive everything forward.
Awesome. Great. To be so successful, and I would say that you are a successful guy, you must have had setbacks, right? Like, we know what you've accomplished. So give us some examples of, some of the things that set you back, some of the things that you maybe regret, maybe your biggest lessons.
Okay. Biggest thing is, I would say is, I don't believe to this day, Dino, I've actually stretched far enough in my capacity, not even close. Even at this age, I'm asking myself, did I really try hard enough when I was in my 20s?
Yeah.
In my early 30s, and I'm like, no, you didn't, Matt. You got to like push even more and try even harder, or think more effectively. So my failures have been, I've been bullied like really bad when I was younger. I was bullied. I've been broke 3 times in my early 20s. Like when I began INBF, I had no money. Okay? I actually asked for a loan from my clients at 21 years old for $2,000 because my credit cards were full. I put myself through school. I had no money left. And I was like, I have this idea. I have started solo the INBF, but I'm like, I'm not sure how the hell I'm going to do this. So I'm just like, hey, wherever there's a will, there's a way. Right? So I found, the resources to have that first show. And as clear as day, that first show like it was yesterday, because I told my dad, he was at the front of the door getting tickets. He was thinking about this. Because I says, Dad, I need $10,000 or else I'm on the street. Okay. So I was like making sure I had enough people coming in the door. Like I put everything I had into making that one. I put all my risks in it. I had no money saved at all. So it was like putting everything on the table. I did that, and luckily we had $10,500, from the event. So I covered my costs and I have $500 for my rent. So that was my first failure. I've gone through a lot of failures with RE7. We've had to raise over $1 million in capital to make the business grow. We've had a lot of failures with that business by like producing product, me having no money left to pay for the bills. So I'm a risky guy, but I always believe that, in life, you've got to go out there and give it your best shot. I've been told no so many freaking times. In fact, my professor in college, my trainer for Pete's sake, when I was taking Nate University course there, she was training me to be a strength athlete for like my squat and deadlift. And I said to her, I says, I want to be a pro WNBF bodybuilder one day. And she's like, you have no genetics for that. Like, you're not wasting your time. And that was when I was 23 years old. So I was like, whenever I get no, I try so much harder to push forward and make it happen. So 25 years old, I got my pro card. And obviously that was the end of that story. So that's one of a few. This day I still fail, I'm failing all the time. I believe that you can never stop failing. You get tougher mentally when you fail to overcome it, to make it more of a success. But where I know I lack, and most of us lack, is never trying to take bigger risks, never trying to dream bigger. And yeah, it could mean everything's on the line. You could lose everything. But you want to be 80 years old and think, well, darn it, I should have done better, should have got bigger than before. So.
Yeah, no, awesome. And I think that one of the things that we can take away from that, and one of the things I'm seeing more and more is, do you think that today's generation maybe is a little bit too buffered to experience that? Maybe they're not getting enough. No, they're getting too many like, yeah, just do it. Like it's almost like we're babying the next generation that's coming up, kind of. Like, do you see that? Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So do you find a lot of your clients are maybe the older generation then, like maybe our age and older, kind of?
A lot of my clients are 35, 45, 50, 55. I got a couple like really strong clients in the U.S. She's 45, IBU pro bodybuilder. I got one WNBF pro bodybuilder. They've been doing personal training for 10 years. They just haven't made much money. So I work with them for 2 months, and all of a sudden they're tripling their income. So but they get the fact that they got to focus on these things and not just their social media.
Yeah.
Being distracted by their phone and being entitled to think that they just, we're going to have magical clients come in front of their front door in one day. I'm like, no, you got to put the work in.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are your thoughts? Like, how are we going to get the 20 somethings, the teenagers coming up now to think about how important mindset is, how important failing is, how important overcoming obstacles are, especially if they're not experiencing that until they get into the real world?
One answer, they have to disconnect.
Yeah.
They have to disconnect from this damn thing.
Right.
And they got to get into the nature. They got to reconnect with their source, and they got to put their hands in. But the biggest thing is, it happens to me, I'm sure it happens to you sometimes too.
Oh yeah.
This goofy thing, and all of a sudden it throws us off our focus, right?
Yeah.
Emails, distractions. So I feel that, artificial intelligence, cell phone, social technology, the 5 biggest companies in the world, Amazon, Google, Facebook, they hire people, they hire experts to find ways to addict you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right? So we know that. So it's like the millennials, it's like we have to get them disconnected more frequently and train them on why it's effective to disconnect to achieve or learn about life. Get them more involved in learning in capacities beyond the cell phone.
So do you have some strategies you can maybe share with us in terms of how you would maybe put disconnecting into your strategy for success?
What first off is airplane mode for the phone. So we have this rule in our house that the airplane mode goes off at 9 p.m. and my phone doesn't go on until 9 a.m. on most mornings on the course of the week. So if someone's trying to get a hold of me, it's like, hey, you know what? Wait till my phone actually goes off airplane mode. I want to teach that for my daughter too.
Right. So what about if we have these business guys, CEOs, stuff like that, they rely on their phones to run their business? I know that ever since I opened the gym here, I can't not have my phone. Like, somebody could be calling me. So is there some other strategies we can use for, I don't know, 1 hour meditation or like some kind of thing that you could program into your week that would allow you to have just a little bit more me time or less focus on devices? Like, what would you do there?
I'd love to ask you, Dino, about that. Like, you have a gym, right? And obviously, do you have anybody working in your gym, or is it always you and your wife right now?
Yeah, like, we have trainers here, and we have contractors that do boot camps. I have a massage therapist, so there's other people in and out of here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how often do they call you at 5 a.m. to say the gym isn't open or the gym's having problems? How often do you get that phone call?
That's not something I would get too often. I'm more concerned about the alarm going off. The first couple of weeks we were open, we had the alarm going off every night. You need to be able to be reached just in case, especially myself. I'm the go-to guy. Yes, the phone needs to be on. I don't use it at night, but during the day, should I be implementing maybe during lunch, I don't turn my phone on, or should I set aside 15 minutes of, no electronics? Because I'm off my phone right now, but I'm on something with you, right? Like, I'm going to be on my iPad whether I'm with a client. Like, I'm always connected to something, right? So, and even during my workouts, I'm on my phone. You got to post a progress pic, or you got to post a motivational picture for your clients. Like, we're so driven by social media that we need to, they're saying, well, it's pointless unless you post 3 times a day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're almost a slave to that technology. So I guess I'll go back to my original question. Like, what would you suggest to someone who it's part of their job to be connected? So how would you implement a strategy to be slightly disconnected?
I would suggest multiple disconnects in the course of your day for 20 minutes or possibly an hour. The morning meditation for 20 minutes or even 12 minutes or 10 minutes is great to start. I suggest when it comes to productivity for work for you, Dino, every hour, just every hour you're working, so you have a client and you have back-to-back clients, disconnect can be, 5 minutes of just leave your phone here and go for a breath outside for fresh air. Disconnect. This will actually revitalize things in your life, okay? Or even keeping you more focused and self-aware. And then obviously in the middle part of your day, when usually you're finding yourself kind of falling down, you want to have that hour where you either go for a nature walk outside, you go for a power nap, but the phone cannot be near you. That's a big no-no. because phones do not allow you to disconnect.
Right. Yeah.
Wherever you're, maybe like I asked you a question, you know, what part of your day do you find yourself like always kind of, you know, falling down the energy wheel? Is it 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m.? What do you feel?
Yeah, usually mid-afternoon. You know, I train clients back to back. I've been doing this almost 15 years now. So I'm going to go 4 hours without a break. You know, I'll do my workout for 2 hours, then I'll go another 4 hours without a break, right? So it's by the time I get through that second stretch there, you know, halfway through and energy's low and it's like, I gotta keep pushing. And then I commute, you know, after I close up the gym, I commute home, and there'll be days where I'll look up at the sky and I'll think like, I haven't looked up at the stars for 2 weeks because I'm go, right? Like, so I can appreciate, yeah, maybe it's time to start setting a timer on my phone and like go outside, walk around the block, you know, or when I get home, take 5 minutes before I go in the house and just go for a walk, right? I have horses, I have a farm. I haven't pet the horses in 2 weeks, right? Like, so, you know, I guess you have to put these things in just as importantly as I have my workout scheduled every day, the cardio scheduled every day, the meals are measured and prepped. I think that we need to teach people to set times to disconnect, right? Like, and get out and walk, enjoy nature. Like, we're losing green space because people just don't have that as part of their lifestyle, right? I think if we made people appreciate it more, there'd be a little bit of fight to like keep some of these things around, keep parks around, keep stuff like that around, right? So yeah, that definitely makes sense for sure.
You're a routine kind of guy, obviously, right? You've been through your routine for years, correct?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So here's what I would suggest to you, you know, if you're a routine kind of guy, do a weekly inventory of your entire week.
Yeah, I pretty much do that, but yeah.
Well, so basically inventory, that's the first step, okay? And when you inventory that, you look at inputs and outputs. To ask yourself the question, what outputs are creating the most results in my business, period, right? Because you're a routine guy. You're training, you know, whatever clients in the course of your day, that's great. But where are you actually making money? Where are you losing time?
Right. Yeah.
You're the busiest guy in the room, but getting nothing done.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it comes down to what we call inventory audit, of understanding your inputs, outputs, and also time spent where you're putting your time in. And I've gotten clients that have gone through this process and changed, like really busy trainers and coaches going through this process. They're like, well, I'm fine. I got this. I'm like, do an audit, find out your process. You may plan your entire, but I mean, when you wake up, what you do in the morning, when you brush your teeth, what you do in the evening before you go to bed, do you watch TV? How much you get on social media in the course of your day? How much you checking your phone every day? How much are you actually, you know, prepping food in the course of your day? Like everything as far as an audit. And understanding, okay, where can I either save time, leverage my time, and also what is my outputs? So really high-performing people spend at least half of their work time on high output activities that drive their business forward.
Right. Yeah.
The other half of their time on maybe checking in social media or customer satisfaction or customer support or making programs. But that other half is like really driving the business forward. And a really good example of where we fall into a trap is personal trainers, because we're training clients all the time. So we get in this routine schedule and we forget about outputs.
Right.
We're making money, but how can we double the money now? How can we double making like $8,000 a month and go to $15,000 a month or $20,000?
Yeah.
What's that going to take? So looking at the outputs and inputs to really analyze that behavior and those results.
Perfect. Yeah, that sounds like a plan for sure. So thinking about, you know, your suggestions there, do you think that there's different types of people? Do you think that, because if I told that to some of my clients to go and schedule your entire week, like they just say I was nuts, you know, like I'm nuts enough that I work out every day and that I prep my meals and that I have my workouts and my work scheduled. Like, do you just think that there's different types of people, different breeds of people? Like there's either successful people that will do that and people that will just dream about the things that you achieve, you know?
You know, that's a great question, Dino. It's going to come down to everybody has that in them, but some people are conditioned to do the basics every course of their day. So I wouldn't make the suggestion for you because obviously, you know, you're a more of a high-performing kind of guy already. You know, you're a business, you're an entrepreneur mindset. So you're going to probably understand that more than someone who's more of an employee.
Right. Right.
And working at a corporation where they're being told typically what to do.
Yeah.
It's not really something for them to really probably want to hear. They can use it, but see, inventory of your schedule audit is more just to see a bird's eye view.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to schedule that, intensely after that. It's more like, okay, where am I spending my time? Where am I training my clients? I had one guy with Charles Poliquin over here, actually. He works with Charles Poliquin. And, he's making 12 grand a month. Like, easy, like one-on-one trainings, boom, hammering it out, hammering it out. And he's like, oh, Matt, this odd thing's not going to work for me. I'm like, well, let's just try it out and see where it's going to be. Because he was working so much, he wanted to, like, cut back his hours, he wanted to make more money. And I'm like, well, here's what you got to do. We did this whole process, and he's like, oh, wow. In 2 weeks, I've already increased to $50,000 a month now. I'm like, and I'm working 5 hours less a week. I'm like, I told you. It comes down to, like, understanding, the routine and all the time, and then readjusting it going forward.
Right. Yeah, no, that makes sense for sure. Yeah. In terms of mindset, do you use imagery at all? Like seeing yourself succeed, or is it all just task kind of, this is the goal, I'm going to do it, this is the steps to get there? Or do you also kind of envision yourself there? Like I feel like there's different kinds of people that dream about getting something done. And I tell people that, me personally, I never dream about something. I just kind of say, this is what I'm going to do, and these are the steps to get there, and it's going to take some time, but I'm going to get there. Whereas other people are like, this is my goal, this is my dream, I'm just going to do that, right? Like, so do you use imagery, like seeing yourself in that position as part of achieving your goal?
I do. I do imagery visualization techniques quite routinely. Whether it's going to be laying down on the bed, going for a nature walk, in my car. Basically, there's a technique that actually I use with my coaching, Dino, that kind of emphasizes this tactic of visualization. It's called it's actually in my new course, Unshakable Confidence, by the way. It's called the old and new version of you. And this old and new version of you process, it really takes your story and understands, okay, what is my old story of who I am, my habits, my behaviors, my thinking, my business, everything in this old version. And then we encompasses the new version of who we want to be now going forward in all the areas of our life, right? And I'll show you mine from 2 years ago. So this was actually from 2.5 years ago. I did mine, old and new version of me. So my old version and my new version. And basically this new story creation is what you want to imagine or visualize, right, going forward. And because our subconscious minds, are so susceptible to things going on around us, we need at least a month or 2 months of actually programming that to really make sure it's going to sit into our mindset. Where most fail is they'll do this and they'll forget about it after 2 days.
Right.
Problem. Going back to imagery, it's like imagery can be done anywhere. It can be like on your bicycle with your kids. Taking a stroller going for even 2 minutes or a minute, just 30 seconds, reflecting, and then allowing imagery to set. Now, imagery is the first step. Every time that you dig into imagery with your goal, you're going to get more clarity. And that more clarity is where you can apply it to your goal. Where most fail is when they do goal setting, is they try to get the how. They try to go tactical too quickly. And getting tactical too quickly is where you'll get discouraged and overwhelmed. We want to focus on that vision first for a period of time, and all of a sudden the how will unfold itself as it goes forward. And obviously imagery will be part of that. That's kind of how the process unfolds down the stream.
Awesome. No, that's great. Great advice. Great advice. Flip side, peak mindset. Is there something kind of the opposite of that? Is there something that you would classify as maybe like negative mindset, like something we can get caught up into that would take us kind of the opposite direction that we want to go?
Like self-sabotage?
Yeah. Okay. So you acknowledge it exists. So what would be your strategy for dealing with somebody who, and I think I would see this a lot as a trainer, people that are kind of down in the gutter, people are like, the world is against me, I have no control. And instead of reacting to all the stresses of life, they're kind of just going internal. So what would kind of be your advice for somebody who's going the opposite direction of, instead of focusing on, getting in the right mind frame and focusing on imagery and focusing on positive, like what would kind of be the first couple steps you would do with maybe some big businessman who just lost it all or got fired or got voted out by the board and now the world is against them? So how would you deal with that?
First thing is state change. Now, if it's a business guy who just lost something, very important, I would ask him, what? I understand this obviously happened, but how can we look at going forward now with something that you've learned from this? Or what is something we can go forward? Because obviously where you focus is where energy will go. So if we sit there and I just, almost have sympathy and we start like empathizing for the next half an hour about this, you're going to make that negative emotion drive into your subconscious energies way deeper. We could have a state shift immediately. That's my job as a coach, is shifting your state immediately and be okay. How can we focus on something different or positive, or what you learned? What can you take away from all this so you can improve now to make something even better or bigger next time? If you lost all your money tomorrow and says, Dino, I'm broke. I'm like, okay, that's fine. That's only temporary.
Yeah.
You're being broke is temporary. If you're poor, that's a mindset. Okay? But like, Dino, okay, great. You're broke, no problem. We can fix that. How can you learn from this to take one step forward tomorrow, not become broke no more, to make some money, even $100, right? That's state shifting.
Yeah, awesome. Perfect. Awesome. I love it. What I'm really interested in is what your current projects are. So what are you investing your time into right now?
My number one priority right now is around my unshakable confidence and my coaching. Okay? So I'm working with more and more, I would say, entrepreneurs, all basically in the online fitness world that are growing their businesses. Personal trainers, yes and no, depending on who they are, if they've been around the industry for a long period of time. Most trainers who want to transfer from personal training into high-level online coaching. That's
Awesome.
a lot of my clients.
Yeah.
And obviously gym owners are also, but I'm not really focusing on my gym owners right now. I'm hired as a consultant for sales for some of the industries, but more so in that area. Right?
Awesome.
And my courses and conference, I just launched that. I'm actually building 2 more courses and writing a book right now.
Awesome.
All mental mindset and psychology. And I want to, before I go to super for 1 second, one thing I want to mention, I think I'm seeing that I think is a real gold nugget for the fitness industry is mastery. So whatever endeavor you're in for your industry, and so one thing I've realized in learning from other successful fitness entrepreneurs in the field, high-level trainers, coaches, gym owners, and entrepreneurs, is we look at guys like Charles Glass, Michael O'Hearn, Charles Poliquin. We look at guys like Chris Azito, Dr. Joe, Dino Kamir, right? These kind of athletes, is that focus where you want to master in your niche. And if I can give one success, what I'm seeing is relevant amongst all these high-level coaches that I'm being mentored by. They're mastering in certain endeavors, and they become the best in that one thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Super League. The Super League is another endeavor. I'm doing that as well. We're growing it. So bodybuilding, CrossFit, powerlifting, calisthenics, athletes from all different kinds of fields are competing. We have a virtual platform right now that we have our Power Series, our Combine Series, World War. We're starting in World War. We have World War. We've got that in Las Vegas at the Coliseum.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah. No, I know that Super League was supposed to be massive in the States. It kind of didn't live up to what they thought it would live up to. But I see in Canada here, we're just hitting the nail on the head. Like I'm seeing a lot of Super League on social media. I'm hearing a lot about Super League in gyms. Like, what are you guys doing that's making this thing work so well?
It's really organic growth. Like we have invested no money into marketing. It's all been like, the athletes that kind of were with us in the beginning competing, they're obviously all over Canada. So, we've had different gyms come on board to try it out, but we want to make it where it's even someone in their home gym can compete.
Right.
You can do it virtually against anybody in the world on that event day, right?
Right.
And from there, you can qualify to go to the virtual nationals. We'll have virtual nationals in like select cities across Canada in July that qualify for Team Canada for World War in Las Vegas.
Oh, wow. Cool. Yeah. Awesome.
Like our first year, we've got a lot of changes happen from the very beginning, but we feel it's positive change. The virtual platform is something no one else is doing, and it kind of allows all different kinds of sports, background of sports to come in, power, combine, 3D, kind of a fun concept.
Awesome. I love it. Yeah, no, that sounds great for sure.
You'd be a badass competitor,
When I start eating again, I still got to get, I'm a goals guy and I got a couple goals first. So, the goal is to, I got to win that pro card this summer, compete in hopefully Mayhem and Worlds. And then, then it's powerlifting and likely Super League next. So
awesome.
Just got to make it happen.
You got it.
Where can people find you?
So MathewPark.com. I have my Unshakable Confidence course on the website. Any coaching inquiries, I do have an application process for coaching clients. You can go through on there as well. MathewPark.com.
Awesome. Okay. Social media?
Mathew Park, Matthew_Park Instagram, Mathew Park on Facebook.
Okay. You got anything going on YouTube right now, or?
It's going to be building up here very soon with YouTube, but mainly all my video content is on the website right now.
Perfect. Yeah.
And awesome. My courses.
Cool. So any last message you want to leave for the listeners? Anything, any advice, any last words?
Have disconnection happening in your life. Allow it to take place. Stay grounded, stay focused, and most importantly is just believe in what you're able to actually accomplish. Go make it happen. Get to work.
Awesome. Sounds great. That's what I'll be doing. That's what the listeners will be doing. So thank you. And MathewPark.com. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. Don't forget to like the video on YouTube. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. Comment below any comments, any questions you have for Mathew. Go check him out, MathewPark.com. And we'll see you guys next week on the Mind Muscle Connection podcast.